So this year we're going to get to do something a little different during VBSs in Honduras. They have asked if we would be prepared to do a youth conference. Now what this really is going to look like is not a youth conference like we think about. It's really just going to be a session with the youth, but it is going to be no rotations and so more all in right where you are with them. And we have no idea what to expect with this. So for a youth conference, I would expect ages 13-ish and above to be included. But again, we have no idea what to expect. Will they be there? Will they not? We don't know. So it is a new idea, a new thought that the pastors in Honduras had. And so we are going to roll with it as best we can. So James will be the lead on the youth conference the entire time. And then the rest of you will be his helpers. And that is very strategic because you are all his D group. So with that, it will start. I'm going to click on my link. Y'all go ahead and click on your little link there for the kids conference so that we can kind of walk through it together. So I'm going to give you just a second to open up your youth session. So this is in the Honduras VBS 2023 lessons. And then it's youth conferences at the end. So at the beginning, you have all of your supplies that you'll need to make sure you have with you before you start. You're going to introduce yourself and your team to the people that you're talking to. Play a little warm-up game with them. Y'all know all of this, but just for the sake of training, we're going to go through it anyway. But play a little warm-up game with them, and I have that listed there. It's a colorful streamer. We're talking about Joseph, and so it fits right in with that. It's more of a minute to win it game, so you're going to time that, just make it really fun. And then you're going to have them sit down and first just go over an overview of Joseph's life and make this part relatively fast. You're going to have about an hour to an hour and a half with them, but make this part a little bit quicker because it's not the main points that you're driving home. So you're going to tell the story of Joseph's life, and then you're going to give lessons at the end. So if you can tell the story of his life in about a 5-minute story, that should be ample time. So just walk through his early life, his relationship with Joseph and his brothers, with his father and his brothers, all the way through him being second in command and God using him to preserve the remnant of his people. So all the way through that lesson. At the end of the story, that is where you're going to do more of the lesson and the teaching, which is the more applying for life. And that lesson is mapped out for you at the end of the story. So you can use that or you can create your own. Either way, it's just fine. So you can use those 3 points to go by. As God has a plan for good, adversity prepares us for our future, and the Lord was with Joseph. So those 3 they're solid points, but you can develop your own if you want to do that. But then walking through, okay, how was God with Joseph? And then moving into forgiving others, and then kind of wrapping it up with a conclusion. But you're really wanting them to be able to tie that to their life. At the end of the lesson, then you're going to give an invitation. And so just like you would do with kids or in any other setting, have them all close their eyes, have them raise their hand if they want to know more about how they can have a relationship with Jesus, that kind of thing. Now the difference in this group is your helper, whoever's helping, may be the one to walk through the gospel with them if they need counseling, because we don't know what the response is going to be like for the kids portion. So I'll be watching to see if y'all need help, to see if you need extra hands, but I'll also be watching the kids ministry, and we'll just trust the Lord to provide where he needs to provide. So after you've given that invitation, then those who want to be counseled will move to one area and they'll be counseled. The rest, you can play games and activities with them. So there's one game, I pulled all of these off of an online resource. I did not make these up, but they were good. So one is called A Coat of Many Colors. You're going to divide your players into 2 teams, and then within those teams, one person from each team will be the designated Joseph. And what they're going to do is take masking tape and scrap paper that is all in different colors. So they're going to take all the different colors of paper and they're going to make a coat for their Joseph. And they're going to have about 1 minute, so you can time this too, They'll have about 1 minute, or you can extend it to 2 minutes or whatever. But the team who makes a coat for their Joseph that covers them completely first will be the team that wins. So that's the first game. The second one is a little more apply to life. And so if you remember the game Flores Lava, we've played that several times, but Flores Lava, it has those big colorful dot silicone circles that you can put on the ground. So you'll have those along with pictures of the story of Joseph for this game, and you can just put those aside and just look at that as more of a roadmap and stops on Joseph's journey. And so the first picture would be a picture of Joseph in his coat of many colors, and the last picture would be Joseph as second in command. So you're just gonna put those on a journey on those color dots on the ground, and then the kids or the teens are going to play this game. So you will also have a giant inflatable dice. So you'll need to blow this up, and that's what the kids are going to roll. So basically you're just gonna follow the directions on the guide that's provided in your information, but you'll also have cards available that will be their challenge cards to use. So you'll have all the supplies needed for this, but you will wanna look through it ahead of time just to know. So the challenge cards are listed below. It's not the cards, but the content on the cards. Andrea has translated those into Spanish on the actual cards themselves. And so when you have the cards, you will likely not be able to read them. I'm gonna try to make them two-sided, so we'll see. But it may just be one-sided in Spanish, but the English version is in your later document. So hopefully that explains a little bit more about the youth conference. Again, this is just a guide. It's to be a help for you. If you have better ideas or something else that you think would work best, do that. Just remember, you're going to be working with translators, and so your time is going to be doubled with almost anything just for that translation time.